So it's time for the blessing for the state of Israel. And as you know, this is my opportunity to do what I love, which is to sing an Israeli song. But first, I need to introduce this with a few specific comments. On Yom Kippur in Jerusalem, there are hardly any cars in the streets. At least that's how it seemed to me when I was there 50 years ago on Yom Kippur. 50, that there were practically no cars to be seen. Odd to witness for an LA girl. But things must have changed while we were in shul that morning, because by 1:30 in the afternoon, when we had our break, which is about the same time roughly that we hope to be on break here today, we had to dodge speeding cars and egged buses on our way to hang out at a neighborhood park. My two friends and I also saw several guys in uniform walking or running down the street. None of that is normal for Yom Kippur. By this time it was 2 p.m., and that's when the first air raid siren went off. We ran from the park to the apartment building next door and joined the residents in their miklat, their bomb shelter. Someone went and got a radio, and that's when we heard Israel had been attacked from both Syria and Egypt. We didn't know then how close Israel would come to defeat. In those first days of the war, many of our positions were overrun, and we lost hundreds of soldiers. But in the cities, right at the start, there was still the confidence of the '67 war. In fact, the family that I was staying with for Yom Kippur told me, when I called them from my friend's house at the end of the day, that they would come and pick me up after their dad finished watching Ironside, a popular TV show in Israel at the time. One of the people I'd gone to the park with had made Aliyah some time before and was married to an Israeli. She became panicked that her husband would be called up, which of course he was, everyone was. And though he did, thank God, survive the war, he did come back wounded from near the Suez Canal within a few days. We heard sirens several more times during the 19 days of the war. Once, while visiting a friend who had been too sick with the flu to go with her unit to the Sinai, we just decided not to bother to go to the shelter. Probably not a wise decision, because who knew what could happen. I ended up, by the way, staying with this friend for a week, working in the local post office. Earlier, I had worked at a kibbutz pruning fruit trees, and all of us students in Jerusalem donated blood. And every night, there was a blackout. All shades drawn, outdoor lights were out, and cars' headlights were painted blue, so that if you had to drive, which you weren't really supposed to, the lights would be extremely dim. Some months before the war, the great Israeli songwriter Naomi Shemer had penned some lyrics to go to the Beatles song, Let It Be. But then the war started, and she added and changed some lyrics to express concern for the soldiers and a prayer for the quick end to the conflict. And her husband influenced her to write her own tune, a Jewish tune, as he put it, something that would reflect the time and the culture of the song's lyrics and of its prayerfulness. Because that's what this song is, a prayer. If only, Lu Yehi, may it be. On this, the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, let us all pray for peace in Israel. Peace from the threats outside its borders, and peace between all its citizens within the borders of this miraculous country.
יש מפרש לבן בעותק מול ענן שחור כבד כל שנבקש הוא יהי ואם בחלונות הערב ונרתך רועד כל שנבקש לו יהי לו יהי לו יהי אנא לו יהי כל שנבקש לו יהי לו יהי לו יהי אנא לו יהי כל שנבקש לו יהי.
What is the sound that I hear? The cry of the shofar and the sound of the drums? All that we ask for, may it be. If only there can be heard within all this one prayer from my lips also, all that we seek, may it be.
Lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenivakash, lu yehi, lu yehi, lu yehi, ana lu yehi, kol shenivakash, lu yehi. ואם פתאום יזרח מעופל על ראשנו אור כוכב כל שנבקש הוא יהי אז תן שלווה ותן גם כוח לכל אלה שנאהב כל שנבקש הוא יהי לו יהי לו יהי אנא לו יהי כל שנבקש לו יהי לו יהי לו יהי אנא לו יהי כל שנבקש